I've known some. Until I first met you, I was lonesome. And when you came inside, dear, my heart grew light and this whole world seemed new to me. You're really swell, I have to admit you deserve expressions that really fit you. And so I've racked my brain hoping to explain all the things that you did to me. Amir, Mr. Shane, please let me explain. Amir, Mr. Shane, means you're grand. Amir, Mr. Shane, again I'll explain. It means you're the fairest in the land. It means you're the fairest. It means you're the fairest. It means you're the fairest in the land. It means you're the Shane means you're grand. Amir, Mr. Shane, again I'll explain. It means you're the fairest in the land.
Greetings from the Andrews sisters. I'm Patty.
I'm Maxine.
And I'm Laverne.
Say Bella, Bella, even say Thunderbar. Each language only helps me tell you how grand you are. I've tried to explain. Amir, Mr. Shane, so kiss me, kiss me, kiss me. I say that you will understand.
Je ne sais pas, monsieur. And I said, hold on, Frere Jacques, you come over here.
And then wait, are we like live right now or did
Yeah,
I finish
we
this?
are live. The
Okay,
problem
we're live.
is, they can't see us because everything has glitched out again. Hello! We're live! We're here! We just popped up on screen. All is well. Um, you froze again. What is, oh,
Did I?
yeah.
This is not looking good.
Oh no! I knew this would happen. I knew this would happen. So Adrian,
No, I hear you. I hear you. No, I hear you.
okay.
I'm back. No.
Yeah, you're back. Adrian was having problems with his computer, and
Okay, thank God.
literally, I said like 15 minutes ago, I was like, if your computer cuts out anytime between now and the stream, we'll cancel the stream. And it didn't cut out. It was running, and now he's frozen again. Oh, he's back. It keeps freezing. I don't know what. I hate this so
But
much.
no, I'm back.
This is the worst.
Why do you keep wanting to cancel it?
No, I don't keep wanting to cancel
No,
it.
and the thing is, it was working fine yesterday.
Yeah. Anyway, hello everyone.
It was working fine yesterday.
It was. Hello everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of That 20-Something Show. My name... Oh, is that so?
I forgot to mute the ads.
Adrian, are you not subscribed to my channel?
I am.
Okay, that's fine. Anyway, welcome to another episode of That 20-Something Show. I am Sundance Streams.
And I'm Adrian, and I'm somewhat here and not.
Yeah, depending on the moment. But welcome in, Oceana. Thanks for all the hype. And Linz, I know you're doing your birthday stream right now. We want to wish you
Happy birthday!
a happy birthday from the bottom of our hearts. I was hanging out with you a little bit before, but definitely happy birthday from That 20-Something Show. We love you so much. You've been an awesome supporter, and I know you probably can't hear me because you're streaming right now, but
You should get them something. How about the 20-something show lint roller?
yeah, the
I
20-Something
think so, yeah.
Show lint roller. That sounds like a
I like to.
great idea.
My goal is for us to have enough merch, like to the level of Spaceballs. How they had merch for everything.
For everything.
Merch like the flamethrower. The kids love this one.
The kids love this one. I want that 20-something show fruit roll-ups so that you can tattoo your tongue with that 20-something show.
Yes.
Stupid. Anyway, welcome to yet another episode. Today we are talking about the beloved, the crazy, the ridiculous, and the
Lindsay Lohan.
the internet phenomenon that is creepypastas. Do you want to kick us off, Adrian?
Yes, absolutely.
While I
So-
do this thing that I forgot to do?
Let's ignore the dogs that seem to be barking at all hours.
Nah, embrace the dogs.
You know, I'll have them on someday, just to finally make it official.
Yeah.
And no, but
All the dogs
creepypastas-
from your neighborhood, all of them.
Yes. Yeah, they'll be guests. But so the thing about creepypastas is that it's kind of like a subgenre of horror, especially nowadays, because it's become kind of like our generation's version of telling stories around a campfire. Only you do it with, people all around the globe. Which in and of itself is an awesome thing, because I love storytelling, especially the aesthetic of telling each other like some ghoulish or creepy or flat out scary stories around the campfire. That's no, exactly, that's awesome. Of course, creepypasta has its own subgenres, especially since some are not the best.
Well,
Some are more well known than others, but that's
Yeah.
the thing. It just ranges all over, in in that part of the genre. But the thing is, whether people know it or don't, is that creepypasta is actually becoming more influential in today's popular culture, especially with inspiring movies, video games, TV shows, you name it. It's it's actually making an imprint and starting to shape what horror is nowadays.
And here's the thing too. So like I know we're gonna talk about it in the future, so I don't want to touch on it too much. But Slender Man. So there was the film version of Slender Man, like the box office, like the major film Slender Man.
HBO did like a special or a documentary, I think.
Yeah, for sure. But the yeah, for sure. The Slender Man film, bad, very bad.
I didn't watch it.
Like a lot of people, no, but a lot of people hated it. Review wise, it was bad. It was a huge like flop. It flopped at the box office. Most people never even heard about it. Like it was rough. And here's
that's the thing too.
Here's my argument with it though.
It's a very niche subcategory of horror.
And I think every subcategory of anything is very niche until it becomes mainstream. And I think that just because there was a box office film of Slender Man doesn't mean that, and it flopped, does not mean that creepypastas making their way into box office films is over. I think that was just the beginning, and it flopped at first because it's getting its footing. But I think that opened the door to a lot of possibilities.
The thing is, I don't know. I think Slender Man was already too mainstream by the time.
Wait, Oceana, there was a Slender Man book?
No, it's a joke because it's written fiction.
Oh, my bad.
But no, yeah, like it. Yeah, you were right. The book was better.
My bad.
But yeah, that's the thing, dude. I think and I'm no expert really, but. I thought that Slender Man was already way too mainstream, by the time they were like, let's make it a movie, let's make it big, and especially after, what happened in Wisconsin too, like that also had a lot.
Oh yeah, they missed the mark for sure.
Yeah, they definitely missed the mark.
Yeah, they should have done that like 3 years earlier at least. They should have done the film earlier when it was hitting its mainstream, when it was getting into the every YouTuber is taking advantage of the games, and like it's a prime and central part of
there were
pop
YouTube
culture.
series that that were either based on or took inspiration from the Slender Man stories.
I know. We were going to talk about that more later.
Oh yes, that's true.
So let's hold back and save some for later. So if you want to hear more about Slender Man, don't touch that dial.
Stick
Hang
around
with us for a little while. We will talk in depth about Slender Man and how amazing of a phenomenon it is and was and remains.
And for those of you listening, or watching, you could be doing either or.
Sometimes even both.
Yeah, let us know what your favorite creepypastas are, or you have any thoughts on the subject, any genre. But more importantly, I really do want to know what people's favorite creepypastas are, because there are so many out there. I have no idea what all they are. I think I usually gravitate towards a specific category in it, but I'm always happy to check out new ones. So I'm a big nerd.
I know I always gravitate toward a certain category of creepypastas, and that's the stuff that fascinates me. Ooh, the Pokemon cartridge and the Moon creepypasta.
Are those two separate ones, or because I've heard of a Pokemon one, but
I feel like it's two separate.
Okay.
But I'm not positive. I'm not possible. I am not possible.
Possible.
Yeah. The Moon is a separate one. Excellent.
Okay.
Yeah. I to be honest, I haven't heard of either of those because I was never really into.
I'm gonna write them down.
Yeah, please do. I was never into a ton of creepypastas, but I was into a very the Lost Moon Mission. That's what it is.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, but I was into a very, subset category of creepypastas that dealt with the dark web or the deep web.
Oh, dude, those are dark. Yeah.
Yeah, because I always found that fascinating. The technology behind that, I always loved that. And so I always really got into the fiction behind the deep web. And I always liked how the story itself could be literally, 2 minutes long, or it could be a full 30-minute long, reading of it. And either way, they were all so good. Cicada Puzzle. Okay, obviously,
Oh,
Oceana
that's
knows more
a
about.
deep one. Yeah, that's a deep web one.
Is it?
Yeah.
Remind me.
It's
of the plot, just a hair.
well, no, it's I think it revolves around an actual like Oceana Star said, a puzzle in which it's I think it's just deep web channel that has not channel, but it has like encrypted messages.
Oh yeah,
things that you need to decode and like only super geniuses can get through.
Interesting. That one is deep web puzzle, not a creepypasta. What
there
is
you go.
up, Liz? Welcome in. How are you today? We are talking about creepypastas today. So if you have a favorite creepypasta, or if your interest is piqued, be sure to drop it in the chat. We'd love to find out. We'd love.
Also, if you wrote one or have ever written one, please send that to the Discord. I would love to read that.
So Liz can't hear because she's filming a show, but it's good to see you. It's good to see you too. Welcome in. Thanks for coming in. We love you tons, Liz.
I should learn sign language.
Woo! Hey, Liz.
Mariah's in the house.
Thank you for the follow, Liz. We appreciate it. Liz is a mod over at Nick Black's channel. I need a Nick Black command the way I talk about him. I talk about him on almost every stream.
We'll figure one out.
Welcome in, Mariah. Welcome. We are talking about creepypastas today. We're having a good time. We are talking about how crazy they are for the horror industry in general. But there is creepypasta lore around it. Yep, but supposedly a thing to hire hackers in the government. Yeah. I heard a lot of, there were a lot of creepypastas where, somebody who doesn't know what they're doing just goes on the deep web for a bit, and they end up witnessing a murder, and then, they get scared by it, and then, somebody says, "We know where you live," and they're like, "Oh, crap!" And,
that's how it usually goes.
Creepypastas. I love it.
No, the thing is, a lot of the popular ones, and I mean more common ones, I mean to say, is they've got a whole category for like rituals, all these different creepypastas regarding certain rituals you have to do in case you want to talk to the supernatural or anything regarding that. There's also like repressed memories. There's lost episodes of TV shows that those I don't know, like my suspension of disbelief needs to work really hard for a few of these, but when it does, it's a good payoff.
See, mine doesn't. I love it. I'm gonna answer Mariah's question real here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right here. I can't speak words
I hope it's
today.
here.
Apparently, I'm having a weird time. So Mariah, creepypasta is actually a genre of horror that has taken over the internet. And the word itself stems from two separate words. Obviously, the word creepy, just, tying into the horror aspect of the whole thing. And then copypasta. And copypasta is basically anything that you can just copy and paste and send on to a bunch of different people. It came from
popular in the 90s.
Yeah, those chain emails and all of that kind of stuff. That was copypasta. That was the word for it.
Like copy-paste.
Yeah, exactly. And creepypasta is just basically the same thing, except with horror stories. And so it gave writers, and specifically horror writers, horror fictionalists, this platform to take someone's idea and develop it and change it into what they wanted it to be. And that's where you get some absolutely amazing stories because
Which is how urban legends come to be, actually.
Yeah, exactly. And well, these are just the modern form of urban legends.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
that's
so cool watching the evolution of storytelling and passing them down.
exactly. And so these creepypastas that we talk about now, the classic ones, like Slenderman, which we'll talk a lot about, they come from this idea of a whole community of people writing on this one topic. And so it's not just one story from one author that it has dictated the entire world, but rather a collection of ideas about a certain entity or a certain thing. I like how a lot of creepypastas are very Lovecraftian in
Yeah,
nature.
exactly.
So, like, Slenderman is very Lovecraft, very inspired by the works of H.P. Lovecraft, where, a lot of the lore ties into that. If you look at him, then you become insane. And,
Yeah, a lot of insanity-inducing creatures.
yeah, it's that
Creepypasta.
kind of stuff, and I love that kind of stuff. So that's what creepypastas are. That's what the concept of creepypasta is. But because it is community engagement and because it is literally over the entire internet, creepypastas are everywhere.
Oh
And
yeah.
and we can't possibly talk about them all in even in a collection of podcasts. I don't think we could talk about them all because it's ever growing.
Practically endless. Yeah.
Yeah, it is practically endless already, but then it is ever growing as well because people are still really into creepypastas.
Very much so. I've mentioned it a few times during the stream, but I'm like a podcast hoarder. I'm listening to so many podcasts on rotation. It's insane. But a few of those are like some like scary story podcasts, but they're specifically geared towards creepypasta. So it's people reading creepypastas.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I think it's just like the aesthetic that they set up, with the sound and all. But no, it's just it's a very popular thing. It's like I said, podcasts are branching out into it. YouTube, does their own, like some have channels and actual, full on storylines you go through in individual episodes. Or some even just read it on YouTube. But the thing is that that it's like you said, an ever growing part of the genre, and it's becoming a very present thing in today's horror, which is just great because a lot of independent short films are inspired by creepypastas.
Absolutely. I completely agree. I think it's super cool to even take just a small concept
Yeah.
of a creepypasta and make it something bigger and really go in detail on it, because again, that's going with the culture of creepypasta. It's taking a small nugget of an idea and adding details to it.
Right.
And so today's plan is actually one of my favorite short creepypastas. Maybe? Nope, it's not going to work. There it is. Oh. Excellent. So today's plan is a very short creepypasta. I mean, like, literally tiny. It's 3 sentences, I suppose. And I would love to see a film recreation of this. I would love to work with this in some sort of capacity. So I'm going to read it out loud, even though I know everybody in chat can read. Every time you exhale, a little bit of your soul escapes. Luckily, you almost always inhale it back before anyone else gets to it. Almost. And just that word almost makes for the whole story.
Yeah.
It's so simple. And it's such a simple idea that I would like to see somebody completely recreate that into a full film. I would watch it. It would be awesome.
Yeah, that's the thing, and that's the cool thing about that stuff, because short films have been known to eventually become feature length, like Lights Out.
Yeah. And yes, Oceana, it does make me think of the taking your photo capturing your soul kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally feel that. There is a shortly extended version of this creepypasta. I think it's actually like, 8 more words in total or something like that. It's super, minimal, the amount of extension to this creepypasta.
Yeah.
But it literally just says, I guess it's more than 8 words. I under-exaggerated a little bit. But it says something to the extent of, have you ever used your breath to fog up a mirror? Don't do that. And I was like, ooh, that's like interesting.
I like that.
Like it just tied in a little bit more, and I was like, ooh, not comfy. It gives you that chill down your spine that you're like, ooh.
No, and that's the thing, dude. There's so much. I think part of like what a creepypasta has in its like recipe, or recipes, I suppose, because it really depends on what kind of story you're writing, is they focus on a lot of different things. Like, a common element is, the uncanny valley. Like when they describe something that's, that's both, you know, real and at the same time shouldn't be real. Like, protruding smiles and, just giant or even like big blank dead eyes, just stuff like that.
Yeah.
They find a way to describe things in full detail while trying to make it feel and sound real at the same time. That's what draws people in. Like I said, there's also the idea of suspense. Like when you're talking about with with the short creepypasta that you like, is it's like piecing it together little by little, and like something's wrong, and it's telling you, like, bit by bit, until you get to the ending where
Yeah.
it just makes it all make sense.
I also like the ones that take a simple idea, like in mine, and something that you've probably done before,
Yeah.
and it puts it in a context that makes it a little like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that. That's weird, But it
Yeah.
doesn't ever tell you why. It just says, have you ever used your breath to fog up a mirror? Don't do that.
Right.
It's like, ooh, why? What? Now I want to go do that, but at the same time, I don't. I'm terrified to do that. So I love
Yeah.
that kind of uncanny, I don't know what's what.
Another category is, people's like last words. It's like them recounting what just happened that got them into this position. Of course, warning you, that, if you're presented with the same options I did, don't do this. Like that kind of stuff, or a lot of the elemental stuff from the, the copy paste chain emails. Like at the end, saying, do, share this with
Share
20
this with 20 of your
people,
friends, yeah.
or the smiling dog will come into your room and eat you or some shit.
Smile.jpg. If you haven't looked that up,
Smile.jpg.
if
Which
you haven't
also
looked that up and
links
you
up
don't
with-
want to sleep tonight, go for it. Why? Go ahead and look up on Google smile.jpg. You won't be able to sleep. It'll be great.
Sure, you're about to go to sleep, but you don't need those 8 hours of sleep. Go for it.
Oh, that's interesting. So I've heard that saying bless you after a sneeze is because your soul leaves your body for a brief second, which is funny because of the every time you exhale, like my favorite creepypasta. They don't want your soul to escape, and so they bless you so it like re-enters and everything is fine. And if you don't bless someone, it's an insult. It's like a terrible insult if you don't bless somebody when they sneeze. So it's crazy. It is funny though. But yeah, I like that idea, Oceana, for sure. But what were you saying? You were in the middle of something. I apologize.
No, it's okay. I was basically closing up with the whole chain letter emails.
Oh,
but,
yeah. Okay.
Which actually kind of coincides with, it's not set. It's not proven that it's the first creepypasta, like the actual creepypasta.
Yeah.
But one of the earliest is like in 2001 with like I remember like reading just parts of it. I never actually finished the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's it was what is it? Ted the Caver. It was in 2001, and
Oh yeah.
it started as like this guy who was exploring this cave, and I think after his visit there, he comes back home. He's starting having nightmares and visions about all um, hallucinations, I think, and he's trying to figure out what's going on. So he feels it's linked to the cave, and so all these the whole story reads as like different entries that of him researching that cave, thinking he's getting closer and closer, much like you said with Lovecraftian horror, because it ends with him just not adding another entry. It just stops to the point of it makes the reader go, oh shit, there was something there. And that's the beauty of it, the fear of the unknown. And
Yeah.
that's which is such a great thing to play with in horror.
I
And of
I
course, like, people thought it was real, and he had to come out and say, like, it's fiction, which which actually has been part of, like, what most controversial things with creepypastas, but we can talk about that later.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I don't
We
even
were
want
saying
to talk
something.
about that. It's art. I hate that
Yeah.
idea. But yeah, so what I wanted to say was the fear of the unknown, in my opinion. I've done minimal research on the fear of the unknown and what makes people
Because it's
afraid.
unknown.
Yeah, right. And what makes people afraid of the unknown and what causes that sort of visceral response.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times we don't actually understand how our brain works, which is fascinating to me in and of itself. But wait a minute, Oceana says that intertwines with all the 2000s time traveler blogs or chains. Yeah, for sure. But so the fear of the unknown is interesting, and I truly believe it's one of our rudimentary fears.
Oh yeah.
Is the fear of the unknown. Because I truly...
Because then we don't feel safe.
Yeah, exactly. I truly believe that in order to fear something less, you have to know it. You have to understand it.
Right.
And I truly believe that all of the biggest fears of anyone boil down to not that thing itself, but the fear of the unknown. I don't have a fear of heights. I like to say I have a fear of falling. Because, like, I can fly in a plane and that's fine because I know that I am moderately safe. But
Right.
if I don't know that I am safe, then I have a fear, a very big fear of heights. So I went to the top of a very tall building in Italy, and there was a railing, and you are technically able to stand at the railing and look out
No.
over it. And the railing is, about waist high for me. And
Yeah.
so you're technically able to look out. I am not kidding you. My fear of heights kicked in so far to the point where I was in the...
Just the sound of that.
I was in the center of the building. I could not move many steps beyond the center. I had somebody take my picture. Literally, there was like it was a dome. And I have already forgotten the name of the dome. It's like St.
Domo.
Peter's.
Yeah.
Domo. Yeah,
Domo.
no, it is the Domo. It's St. Peter's, I think. No, that's not it. That's the Vatican. I don't know anything about Italy. I've been there one time. And so I don't know much.
And I was sober for like 45
I forgot
minutes.
all of the names. There was so much wine involved. But
That's understandable, though.
when in Rome. No, but anyway.
Do as the Romans do.
Yeah, exactly. No, but anyway, it was a dome, and in the center there was a tower, like a dome has.
Yeah.
The bell tower, and I was literally up against the bell tower. And somebody was like, "We need to get your picture, otherwise people won't believe that you were here." And I was like, "You're right. You need to get my picture." And they were like, "With the city skyline in the background." And I'm like, "That's a funny joke." And so literally I had to like turn around and I let them take the picture. I might post the picture in the Discord just for people who are here. But it's literally, I look so uncomfortable. I look like there is a stick all the way through my body because I am stiff as all get out. I can't move. It's a problem because my fear of the unknown kicked in. It wasn't my fear of heights, because I flew to Italy. I flew on a plane over the Atlantic
You did the hard
Ocean
part.
to Italy. That's not the problem. The problem was the fear of the potential that I might lean over the railing. And that was uncomfy for me. And so I genuinely think that most people's fears boil down to the fear of the unknown. I would hazard a guess to say that your fear of snakes is not an actual fear of snakes. It's rather a fear of what the snake is thinking and what it may do. Because
There's that.
don't know.
The way they move also makes me very uncomfortable.
Yeah. Well, because no creature should move without legs. That's not a thing that should happen. That's not, that
the
doesn't
funny
work.
thing, well, not funny thing is, but like, it's interesting that you say,
And they are icky.
that you
No one wants to touch them. That's,
exactly.
That's
Thank
true,
you, Oceana. But going back to like the fear of not knowing what's gonna hurt you or who is gonna hurt you, I remember I was reading this article on like actual facts that that are I guess that you would not want to know. Because one of them was that really stuck out to me was that there's 1 in 7 people. No, not that. So there's always one person who's 7 times more likely to kill you, and it's yourself. And I'm like, I don't like that.
Yeah, right? Isn't that weird?
It's so weird.
And I suppose that's because suicides are 7 times more likely to occur than like you being murdered by someone you know.
I suppose, but like that, like the numbers on that was, I didn't like that.
I didn't like it either. It's regardless, not fun. Well, you get a car at 16. That is true, Oceana.
That's true.
So you're getting a moving weapon
To an emotionally unstable creature.
Oh no, Mariah, no, that's not what I mean.
No creature should move without legs.
Did you read the hashtag? Yeah, I'm so sorry. I did not mean to offend any of our.
I'm glad we're doing this early
viewers.
in our endeavors, because that would have trended so fast.
Yeah, oh Jesus. So speaking about weird facts that you didn't want to know, it's actually time for one of our favorite segments on this show called On This Day in History. On this day in 1738, Dr. Joseph Guillotine, French inventor of the execution device which bears his name, was born.
Which is actually funny because that sounds like a Bond villain.
Speaking of Bond villains, on this day in 1908, Ian Fleming, British novelist, created the character James Bond.
Honestly, if you say that you're not wanting to see this pairing, then you are mistaken. I would love to see Bond fight some guy named Guillotine.
That is true. That would be so fun. I'm just glad that we had a double on this day in history. I'm pretty happy about it. I'm pleased.
And to not make my computer crash with all that fast moving action, I had to
I know.
doodle something.
It's craziness. I think Guillotine was a Bond villain.
Was he?
That
that makes me so happy.
His name was Jaws. That's funny.
Oh, that's the weird guy, right? With the
I would assume with a jaw thing?
with the jaw thing?
With the jaw thing? Wait, Jaws, that was the guy with the hand, right?
No, his name was Bruce.
Yeah, no. Bruce is the shark from Finding Nemo.
Yeah, but Bruce was the nickname
Jaws.
for the shark from Jaws. Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, the guy who played in Happy Gilmore with the screw in his head, he played Jaws in Bond. What? No way.
That is awesome.
That is crazy. Who knew? You know, the more you know.
And now we're a little bit smarter.
No, we're not.
Nah,
Don't lie about me. Um, no, but yeah,
that's slander.
that's slander. that's that's libel, or it. No, is it slander or
Can we
is it
get our
libel?
legal team?
Hello.
Oh, according to the producers, we don't even have a legal team, so let's tread lightly.
Okay. We'd sue you if we could, but we can't, so we won't. Uh, cheers.
There's that on a t-shirt.
Speaking of t-shirts, if you like our awesome mugs and you want our mugs on your body, you are more... No? Okay.
Phrasing.
Sorry. Then you are more than welcome to check out our merch store at !merch. And you can check out our mugs and our t-shirts and our hoodies and all of our cool things. All of that money goes right back into supporting this stream and helping us get Adrian a better computer so that he doesn't freeze as often.
Or a belt so my pants stop falling off. One of the two.
One of the
I'm
two.
tired of using shoelaces.
It really depends. This belt is made out of cardboard.
Look at me now. Look at me now. I'm wearing a cardboard belt.
Don't jinx him now. That's true. I'm
So
sorry.
my pants are gonna fall off.
Oh. Yeah. How do your pants fall off while you're sitting down? You'd be impressed.
Only I could, yeah.
We
With
don't
enough
even
money, I'll
have
do
a
anything.
legal team. Thanks, Mariah. Oh.
Maybe that's where the money should go.
Nah.
Nah.
Nah. What money?
You know, actually, well, I don't know why I said actually. It's total like
You know what?
non
Actually,
sequitur.
complete non sequitur. Go ahead.
No, but my favorite creepypasta, and I've been having trouble finding it because I don't really remember the name exactly. I think it was
That
called
sucks.
aggressive acting. I think it was called aggressive acting.
Okay.
But it is you laugh, but it is about acting. But I liked it because it felt like Twilight Zone-ish to me in a way that if anybody's heard of this one, this girl moves to Hollywood or at least is trying really hard to become break out as an actor. That she starts taking acting classes with this renowned director or renowned acting coach, and so she's doing great. But the thing is, she can't get herself to cry on cue, and so she would try the different exercises like emotional memory, nothing, and eventually, I think.
For those of you who aren't actors and don't know what emotional memory is.
Oh, right. Sorry.
I just want to bring up emotional memory is an exercise that actors can use where they tie a memory that is in their life that they have that is exceptionally strong. And they genuinely will keep thinking about it over and over again to get them to a place where they'll cry.
Right.
And then they keep working out that muscle because in your brain, that once that neurological pathway opens, it is very much like a muscle. You keep flexing it and you keep flexing it and it keeps getting more and more efficient. So the more you start thinking about it, the more you can get yourself, the faster you can get yourself to cry until all of a sudden you're in a scene and you need to cry. So you just think dog. Instead of your dog dying and having to go through the whole situation, you just think dog and you are crying because you remember that time.
Another alternative is emotional fantasy, in which you can just make up a scenario and in your mind, and you just try to make it real enough for you that you're invested in it, making you cry, and it would essentially be the same thing, just not using an actual memory, but. But thank you for letting them know. I completely brushed over that. But it just doesn't work for her. She's not crying, and so the teacher says, forget it, I'll take care of it. And I think a day later, she learns that her parents have died. They were brutally murdered, and the story ends with like her thanking her. I think it was like she was thanking her acting coach on it because it turns out that he's the one who killed them to get her to cry, which I thought was just very messed up. But like but it was enough to really resonate with me. It's one of those that I just
Right.
keep going back to.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I just
It's
can't remember. I think it was called aggressive acting. I
it-
want to say that's what it was called.
I've definitely heard that one before. I have
feel like that may have
definitely
been it.
heard that one before, and that sounds familiar. Aggressive acting. I'll have to look up more of these because that's right up my alley. But yeah, aggressive acting is a nice one. Anything that gets you to question reality, and anything that gets you to anything where a human being doesn't react the way you think they will is interesting for me. So, like you said at the end of that, she thanks her acting coach, right?
Yeah, I think she thanks him. That's how I remember it ending.
Even though she kind of
unless I really-
assumes that he did it.
No, I think not that assumes. Like,
Oh.
I'm trying to think how it was worded at the end. Like, I'm not even sure if she thanks him, but she just, I think she like mentally she thanks him so that she could get there.
So she's
but
grateful that
Yeah,
either way.
unless I'm twisting it, but that's how I remember it.
Well, that's what creepypastas are for twisting. And
Yes.
either way, it's this person reacting in a way that you wouldn't necessarily comprehend
Exactly,
or
yeah.
react. So, when
It's unnatural.
yeah, it is. It's very unnatural, and to have a person react in that way is creepy, and I love that kind of stuff. I love the the non-common responses, and
Right.
and the ability to play with the audience's emotions by subverting their expectation of
Right.
of who the characters are and stuff like that.
I mentioned it earlier. I think it was before the stream that there are that I think you're familiar with more creepypastas than you think you are.
Yeah.
Because there was one short film that I know we watched together called The No End House. I don't know if you remember, but it was supposed. The plot goes basically the same way.
Oh yeah, I know
got-
exactly what you're talking about.
There are these numbered rooms
Yep,
inside a house,
yep,
and if you
as-
can make it through, you can win a certain amount of money. And so, like, once you're out of the house, after you think you've escaped, turns out you're actually in another room, and it just keeps going, and you're just trapped there.
Yep.
Which I like. A lot of these creepy pastas to me feel like very like potentials for a modern like Twilight Zone type show. Very anthology of the unknown. It's I don't know. It's one of those things that's very niche to me.
I agree. I think it definitely has. Well, I think as an art form, creepypastas are amazing because number
Yeah.
one, it is that group mind. It is that community of writers. And so somebody may have a certain idea, but then it's constantly built upon, and you can see how really good things come out of the
Yeah.
development of things that way. That's why we have writers' rooms instead of just one person who writes every TV
Right.
show ever,
And here's the thing, as much as I like creepypastas, we can't deny there are some that just don't hit the mark
Yeah,
for one reason or another.
it's
And
an
I
earlier
think
draft.
it's that, and I think at least the ones that I've noticed, and again, art is subjective.
Yeah.
But there are ones that I read that I'm like, okay, that was good. It went one too far.
Oh, yeah.
Like it was perfect at near the end of the
Should have
story
ended here. Yeah.
where it looks like that's the natural ending, but of course, adding one too far,
Yep.
it's a gamble that people have to risk, and oftentimes it just doesn't fall.
Right.
Fall right.
I completely agree. With that in mind, we are going to take just a short break, but please, as I always say, don't touch that dial. We will be right back after this with more creepypastas, including the famous Slender Man. We will be talking about Slender Man. So, we'll be right back. Hang in there. We'll see you guys soon.
Maybe.
welcome back. That's right, it's us, that 20-something show. We are back at you again, coming live from two separate locations, and, having a
And
good
all
time.
over the topic.
And all over the topic, and sometimes not even on topic, which is great.
That's true. That's the beauty of the show.
That's, it's a show. What can you expect? But welcome back. We are talking today, hopefully, a little bit about creepypasta. We're talking about, that delicious Italian dish that is a little suspicious. No, we're no, we are in fact, however, talking about creepypasta, which is a subgenre of horror and an internet phenomenon, and absolutely amazing for artists out there everywhere. Both in the visual and
basically the
literary...
Wattpad for all the horror fans.
So true. But it is great for artists out there, both visual and literary. And everything in between, because creepypastas have kind of made their way into art. They have made their way, obviously, into literature, since they are stories primarily. But then they have also made their way into film and theater and all sorts of other art forms. So,
They're practically memes.
even costume design and stuff, because people cosplay creepypastas, which is super cool. They are memes, but they are horror memes, and they are absolutely amazing. So I'm excited to talk about them. So yeah, that's what we're here to do today. Speaking of which, if you have any popular creepypastas that you firmly enjoy, drop them
that you think we should check out.
Yeah, and that you think we should check out. If we haven't heard them already, we will be sure to write them down and check them out probably right after the stream, because that's the way my mind works.
Yeah, because what else we got to do?
What else have we got to do? So, but with that in mind, drop them in chat if you got them. Drop them if you got them. And and with that in mind, let's swing right into it. What creepypasta are we talking about now, Adrian?
There's a couple I wanted to talk about. Of course, I'm not gonna read them all to you because we'd be here for hours.
No, let's read all of the creepypastas.
Word for word. Let's do
on
it.
On the entire internet.
Spelling errors included.
Yes.
Those are the best.
Yes.
Those actually go into the category of crappy pastas, like the ones that are just incomprehensible because they don't know how to use commas or anything.
Love that. The entire story is one sentence.
Yes.
That's delicious.
Yes, I like deciphering while I'm trying to get scared. But
I'm scared of this grammar.
Yeah, I'm scared I got a stroke from reading this. And like I said, an interesting category that that at least drew my attention was the lost episode category, in which, like I said, it's one of the most common threads that you see, and I think some of the most famous ones, and I think people have heard it, would be like Dead Bart. It's just like a Simpsons episode. The whole story, like I remember it being started as an urban legend. Like there was supposed to be this lost episode from The Simpsons that was removed for some reason, and Matt Groening apparently would get like very defensive when talking about that, saying that he has no idea what they're talking about. And the writer of this story says he approached him at a Comic-Con at the end of a panel, I think, and he asked him about it, and so so much that Matt Groening was very, I don't know, like he was at the verge of tears. He looked very nervous, and he just gave him like a USB or a CD or some copy of the episode. And he says, we never talked, and he just leaves. And so the whole story of it goes down as Bart doing it just goes as like a normal episode of The Simpsons. It's the animation style just looks a little crude, kind of like maybe like the earlier versions, but it goes as like Bart is doing some of his nonsense on the plane, and at some point he opens a window and he just flies out, falls into the ground, and that's where it takes a dark turn. And then after commercials, you see the funeral, you see Bart's like very realistic looking dead body. Like, again, it's one of those creepy pastas where they said, like the animation was not what it was supposed to be. Instead, it was very realistic with bloods, oozing out, and like just all this, just descriptive, visceral image of a dead Bart. And the whole episode was just got darker, in which, fast forward to a year later, everyone just like looks starved and just depressed, and they go visit Bart's grave, where his body for some reason is just out there. And
Of course.
as Homer tries to crack a joke, and then like it just pans out, and you see like gravestones with celebrities names on it, kind of like they do sometimes in The Simpsons as a joke.
Yeah.
But it's like past and future celebrities, and like the future celebrities, they all seem to have the same death date, and like that's how it ends.
Ooh.
Yeah, no. And um there's that. There's of course like this like the famous Squidward suicide.
Yeah.
There's there's like a SpongeBob bootleg episode. There's a lot of Disney creepypasta that I was where I started going down a rabbit hole.
Right.
One of them was like a lost episode of Mickey doing called Suicide Mouse.avi, I think. And it's like it drives the viewer to point of suicide. So basically just I it's not it's not just my theory really. Like I've while I've been doing some digging, people have said um that it could be inspired, like this whole thread could be inspired by like the censored 11, which is which goes back to the 11 cartoons or episodes that the Looney Tunes banned or just took out of the rotation for being too offensive,
Yeah.
or or what have you. So people think feel that that could be like part of where like the origin comes from, of noticing that there are some lost episodes, and why you don't see those anymore. So I think it's interesting going playing with that kind of like real life, like real life story,
Yeah, taking the reality of a situation and just extending
and
it
adding to it. Yeah.
just a little bit. I mean, yeah, no, that's great. I like that a lot. Um,
Have you heard of the because I think we talked about crappy pastas, which is the ones that are just not as good of quality that you're used to.
right.
And I think like a joke, like the joke that people use to to point out that it's not really a good creepy pasta, but they always say at the end, and then a skeleton jumped out or something.
Oh yeah, yeah. Of course, you got all the crazy dumb ones. Yeah, I mean, creepy pastas actually, like, even kind of starting out, were very much like that a little bit too.
Yeah.
Where it was those jump scares and stuff like that. It had elements of that in it where it was kind of, it didn't have as much satisfaction. It was unsatisfactory.
Well, yeah, and that's perfectly natural, dude, because it's you know there are so many authors, like writers out there that are
Yo, Legend of Linz, welcome
Yo!
in and cheers.
welcome and happy birthday.
Are you finished with your stream? Did your stream go well? Happy birthday. I hope everything went well for you, and I hope you finished up your stream really well.
I also hope that Matt didn't burn the house down. I can just imagine him with birthday candles.
Yeah, he did hold out a camera on stream, or a camera on stream. That's not what I meant. A candle on stream. He held out a candle on stream, and I was very nervous about it.
Yeah.
But things seemed to be okay. But yeah, welcome in. Thanks so much for the cheers. We appreciate it.
It's always nice to have you here.
Yeah. So we're talking about some of those common creepypastas. So if you have any that you enjoy, be sure to drop them in chat. We'd love to hear about them. And if we haven't heard them already, we would love to look them up after the stream as well.
Yeah.
I'm kind of excited to learn more.
We're also discussing different areas in creepypastas, what goes into a creepypasta, all the fun stuff.
The recipe for a creepypasta.
Yes. Just how good do you need that sauce to be?
Yeah. It tastes the same.
I thought it was Italian scary stories. I was wrong.
No, not at all.
No, but what I
Yes,
was saying was
as
that
you were
the thing.
saying.
Sorry, the thing is that you, being such a giant and diverse community, which is which is the best part about it, because like I said, it's a campfire. It's just one
Yeah.
large campfire. Is that everybody works a different way, everybody thinks a different way, and of course you will get the occasional angsty teenager who writes more curse words than any Tarantino movie. Which don't get me wrong, man. I'm a potty mouth myself. Matt, quote that please if you're listening. But there's so many creepypastas that have such unnecessary cursing. Like, yeah, I get it. Cursing here, cursing there, that makes sense. I know when unnatural choices, but just trailing it off so much, like in between every other word, it's to me, it just takes me out of it, I think.
Oh yeah. I completely agree. If there is some element to professionalism in it, then it's pretty good. I like it. I added it because I don't.
Thank you.
I don't know that Matt is here right now, but that's okay.
He's always with us.
He's still with us. But yeah, if there's some element to professionalism, then it does make for a very good story. I like that. But at the same rate, I can congratulate and recognize the fact that a lot of younger people are trying to make make their own fiction and make their own art and everything. So,
Yeah.
So I can.
See, that's how a lot of us started.
Exactly. So I can definitely appreciate that aspect of it too, and say that I wouldn't discourage anyone from writing creepypasta, even if they're not a fantastic writer, because the way you get to be better at writing is by
keep writing.
Writing. So
Yeah.
go out there, create, and put it out there for people. And
Tear my pants off.
And don't get discouraged by comments. Get educated by comments. That's what I always like to think. If I look at a comment and they're just being dumb, then I know that they're just being dumb, and I don't get discouraged by it. Oh well.
Yeah.
So yeah, because I firmly know when I'm on the internet that I'm probably embarrassing myself to somebody. Somebody's not gonna like it. Somebody's gonna think I'm dumb. And that's fun. Welcome back, Oceana. We're talking about creating art and creating creepypastas as a young person, because we got on the topic of crappy pastas, which
and then a skeleton jumped out.
And they're totally grammatically incorrect and run-on sentences and all of that kind of stuff. But I say, fully, as a young person, I would definitely not be discouraged by comments, but be educated by comments. If somebody wants to say, hey, I didn't like the ending because of such and such, well, that's more of a constructive comment than you're a loser. You're a loser doesn't help anyone. Just ignore that comment. That person doesn't know what they're talking about. But if they're gonna say, hey, I didn't like the ending because of such and such, then maybe you can learn from that, and maybe you had a different idea, and that's okay too, because that's what art is. But if you're willing to learn and you're willing to be receptive of that kind of stuff, then you'll become a better writer just by putting your stuff out there. Takes me back to fanfiction.net.
Yeah, there's a whole fanfiction.net. I thought that was just what Wattpad was for.
Yeah, Wattpad is definitely for a lot of things. Fan fiction and the diaries of teenagers. And
dude, Creepypasta has their own whole no sleep subreddit, and I love the whole community down there.
oh yeah, it's great. It's fantastic. I love it.
Dude, would you I don't know about you, dude, but I would I haven't written one, but I would love to write a Creepypasta.
Yeah, I would enjoy writing a creepypasta. I'm just bad at it. I'm much better at drama, not so much horror, because I'm not good at suspense. The one thing that horror does really well is suspense, and I'm terrible at it. I just want to get to the point, and so I can't do suspense very well.
If you ask me to do a horror or thriller or anything that just garners that kind of feeling from creepypasta, but in movie form, I would do that because I'm more visual. Yeah. For me, I think actually just writing it as an actual story That's the challenge right there, I think.
See, and I feel like I could direct it well, but I don't think I could write it well. So if I
No.
had a film script, if I had a script that I was working with, I think I could make it look good, but I don't think I could write it well. That's the thing. Like I said, I'm much more of a get to the point kind of person, and
Yeah.
that's the opposite of horror. Like if we got to the point, the movie would be 5 minutes long, and they would either kill everybody or some people would make it out
That's
alive.
a short. That's a short film.
That's true. That is very true. I could probably
See, we
write a
got
short.
places to start from.
There you go. Yeah, but the other thing is, I'm saying all of this, but I haven't really tried. So, sir, weren't you just talking about practice? Yeah, I was just true. So I was, I'm saying all of this, but I haven't
I
tried.
like when people
so.
can call us out on this.
Yeah, call me out on my bullshit. That's fine. I don't care. Whatever. So yeah, like I'll try it for sure. I'll have to try it, but I'm not used to writing in the genre, so it's definitely gonna take some work for me and some brain power.
It's a muscle I've noticed I need to work on.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. And I don't have the opportunity a lot either. I'm not writing for people ever. So
Nah. Mainly just been writing for me lately.
Yeah, the most I've been writing is for, ironically enough, Dungeons and Dragons. So it's not usually horror, because horror doesn't work well for Dungeons and Dragons.
It's just adventure.
Mm-hmm. And so, and drama. There's a lot of drama and adventure in Dungeons and Dragons, but not so much horror. So I'll have to.
I would love a Lovecraftian D&D. I would love that.
It's terrifying.
That's what I'm here for, dude.
The problem with a Lovecraftian.
Dim the lights a little.
Yeah, the problem with a Lovecraftian D&D is the point of D&D, in my mind, anyway. And
okay.
Maybe I have to change it in my mind. But the point of D&D in my mind is to make it difficult for characters to go through, to make it worth the adventure, but to also make the reward be worth the adventure to be had.
Gotcha.
And,
okay.
And if you die at the end, or if you go insane and your character is unplayable, what was the reward? You don't get any satisfaction out of playing it. You're done.
See, to me, it just raises the stake, kind of like how in real life you just get that one life, so you just gotta really make sure you don't fuck it up.
Yeah, I see that, but I also see how the world of H.P. Lovecraft is destined to make people fail. And
yeah, but
and so it's discouraging for me, because I wouldn't like it as a player, just knowing that in the end nothing's gonna work out.
But you don't. That's not the end all be all. It's much like in the slasher RPG. You know how you are,
fighting for something.
You are fighting to survive. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Which it gives you the chance to.
It's difficult. What's that game that we played?
Dread. Was it?
No,
sorry.
It's not a D&D. It's a tabletop game though. It's the game that we played that is H.P. Lovecraft. It's made by Arkham Games.
Yeah. Haunted Manor, I think.
Haunted Mansion, maybe.
No,
that's
Mansions of Madness. Mansions of Madness. Thank you.
Yeah, it sounds like a Saw movie, exactly. So the slasher game.
Oh, we really are sadistic.
Yeah, right. That he was talking about. Hey, Mariah, thanks for redeeming that cheers. Cheers goes out to you.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Delicious.
Get a refill.
We're getting a refill up in here. But thank you and cheers. So yeah, Mansions of Madness is a full board game based on Lovecraft, and have we won that game?
I think as a group, you're supposed to play.
So you play as a group. That's the thing. And
I want to say twice, but it was just like just barely kind of thing. But I'll say twice.
I don't know how. And we played it like 8 times. And so it's like you're almost destined to fail. It's like you almost fail every single time. It's ridiculous. So
it's all communication though. That's all it is.
Yeah, writing that for D&D is crazy. So, but I might try. I mean, I have to I'll have to try for Mariah to write a creepypasta. Who knows?
Absolutely. I do. I do think we need. I kind of want to talk about like controversy real quick because that's one thing I
do
just
have to mention it. Yeah.
you can't just talk about creepypasta and not mention like what's been happening on the other side of it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like that's why I say that creepypasta is more impactful than we actually give it credit for. Whether it be for good or bad, but it's it's undeniable that it's making such an impact. So much so that even of sadly a lot of a few crimes have been committed because of creepypastas.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's I think where a lot of divisiveness in the fandom is where it started really, because not where it started, but it really showed a big divide in it, and people really like people actually got really defensive over the genre rather than the actual matter at hand.
Yeah. So you and I know that Slender Man is fiction. Speaking of which,
Wait, whoa! Spoiler alert!
Don't look now, but he's right behind you.
What? Oh no, that's
You looked right at him. How'd you do that? No.
I actually he's my dog walker.
That's terrifying. You need a
good,
better
man.
dog walker.
Dude, you kidding me? Look at those arms. He knows how to throw a ball.
That's for real. Could you imagine? Fetch. It's gone. Just gone.
I'll see that dog for 2 days.
Oh no, but we know that Slender Man is fiction, but there are some people out there, because of the way these stories are written, that are led to believe that Slender Man is not fiction. Because
Yeah, dude, to the point that even creepypasta even put out and what was like an announcement, an actual statement saying that this is all fiction.
Yeah. And they had to legally. They legally had to.
They got the warning label on.
Yep. Because nobody has to put a warning label on something until someone is stupid enough to do whatever the warning label said. So, caution, hot. No way. My hot coffee is served hot? That's crazy.
But it happened.
And some bad things happened, and creepypastas were the target of the wrath of that bad thing happening.
Well, yeah, I mean, it all came down to them worshiping a certain, a creepypasta character, whether it be Slender Man or Jeff the Killer or what have you.
Yeah. And here's my theory on this. A knife in the kitchen does not murder someone. It takes a certain kind of person to use it to murder someone.
Yeah.
And so creepypasta in the wrong hands can be dangerous. But at the same rate, I think creepypasta is a great art form and should not be discouraged. I definitely think that there are people out there that, are either stupid or malicious, either way, or stupid and malicious. And so bad things are going to happen. But that doesn't mean we should stop the art. It only means we should raise awareness. Right. And so with the controversy of these creepypastas, I say creepypastas for the win. But
yeah, that's what made me realize just how much that's what made me realize exactly just how impactful creepypasta is, as it's got more than we give it credit for.
Yeah. As a media form, it has definitely taken hold of a certain part of the world anyway.
Yeah.
And it has.
And I mean that's also with any fandom. There's always that that those members of the fandom that go.
Well, yeah.
To extremes.
Yeah, I mean there is a large population of the Earth that believes that aliens are real, but the only people that get the publicity are the ones who claim to have been probed by them. So there are
or the ones that cross the border. I mean, I don't know.
No. There are certain, extremes that you go to.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of people that could be like, ooh, Slender Man could be real. That's terrifying. And then there are people that go out and murder someone and say, Slender Man told me to do it. And there are, there's a difference
Yeah.
in those people. So yeah. And I'm not necessarily comparing those people to the alien probed people.
Do any of you remember your first creepypasta?
Ooh, that's a good one. Because Slender Man was my first creepypasta before I even knew it was a creepypasta.
Yeah, like I was introduced to creepypastas because of word of mouth about Slender Man.
Yeah.
But I think the first one I ever read was strangely enough, the one that I think it was called The Smiling Man. I don't want to mess this up, for anyone, but I think it was called The Smiling Man. But it's the
No, thank you.
it was that horror film that we saw. That was inspired by that story, but it was called 2 a.m., in which it's this guy who sees this weird, creepy, smiling man just like dancing in the streets, and then eventually, he starts following him, and before he knows it, he starts chasing him. So like that, that I remember that being the story. But that was like the first one I actually read. And, that makes me kind of interested in seeing what other people's first introductions to creepypasta was.
Yeah,
because I mean, everybody's got. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people found Slender Man to be the gateway or the way to draw you in. But if anybody's got a different creepypasta that drew them in, that'd be kind of interesting to know.
My first was definitely Slender Man, and it's because I had right around 2009, 2009, 2010, and so forth. I had just gotten onto YouTube and started watching all of these videos, right? And everybody at the time, these
making Slender Man videos,
brand new content creators, right? They were making those Slender game playthroughs.
Oh, those are that picked up a lot.
Every YouTuber in existence, other than maybe me, has made one of those videos. It was super big.
Didn't PewDiePie make it big there?
PewDiePie, Markiplier, all of them did those Slender videos.
Yeah.
I swear, everyone. I mean, like, everyone jumped in on it. It was a formula. It was be a content creator, make a Slender playthrough video, money. Like, that was the formula. It was super, like, everybody watched those. These kids
Mariah for keeps.
Middle school, awful, for sure. Hey, PewDiePie, Markiplier, they're great. Markiplier is still, has always been just a touch cringy, and I love him for it.
I mean, I don't know, dude. Like, what YouTuber didn't start cringy? Like,
well, yeah, but Markiplier embraces his cringe, and that's what I love about him. Like, that's what I love about him. It's like, yeah, he's cringy, and that's his thing. Like,
I respect
he's just a little cringe, and I love it. Like,
I've embraced part of my cringe. I'm having trouble embracing my whole cringe yet.
Oh, I am a walking bowl of cringe. So, cringetize me, Captain.
Oof.
You're welcome.
I want that as a commercial. Writing that down.
Writing that down. That's an idea. But anyway, so when it comes to those YouTubers, I watched a ton of Slender playthroughs because I never played video games growing up, but I definitely watched people play video games growing up.
Okay.
And so I watched those Slender videos, the Slender playthroughs, and that's when I got introduced to Slender Man as a thing. And I thought it was just a video game. I thought it was just from a video game.
See, that's what I thought too.
But then I was looking for more information on it as to, what's going on in the game and, like, what is it about and stuff like that. And I think I even played the game at one point in time just for fun.
Yeah, I had to try that out.
Had to try it, back when it was,
booming.
Yeah, back when it was booming, and thinking back on it, it was a really rudimentary game. It was really, really simple to play, and really.
You really just went there for the jump scare. That's all it was.
That's what it was.
Yeah,
and it was just a website. Wasn't it just a website at one point?
I think so. Yeah, I could have sworn.
You didn't even have to download anything. Like, it was just crazy. Anyway, So anyway, I played this game. I looked it up and everything, and I found the creepypasta, and it brought me to the original picture. Do
Yes,
you remember the original picture?
I do. At the
And
playground, right?
yeah. So it was this tall figure at a playground, with a bunch of kids kind of running from it or running with it.
You remember the caption?
Yeah,
Because it was
and
something like,
it was
yeah,
something like
like we didn't want to go with them, we didn't want to do it or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. And so it was just vague enough and just uncanny enough to be awesome.
No, that's true.
And that's the original, and that's where Slender Man started, which is
Do-
awesome.
Do you know where the image originated?
It was on like a Reddit or something like that, wasn't it? Somebody
It
was
was-
looking for creepy images.
Yeah, it was a
and-
forum that had a contest for, like a Photoshop contest for the most creepy picture in that one, which is insane because, like once that garnered enough attention, one and all, and of course adding the the story to it, and then as a thread, people kept adding more and more to like the lore,
Yeah.
and like saying, like lost like articles or information on like about this library that burnt down, like that's where all the information was, and like it was so crazy of how they actually built up a lore and universe around it, that like that's the aspect of fiction writing that I love, that people love it so much they actually want to expand on it and make a whole world out of it.
Right? Because it intrigues you so much that you invest in it completely.
Yeah, dude, like okay, I'm gonna
We gotta
I'm
do
gonna
it. We
I gotta
gotta
do a plug.
It.
So
Shameless plug,
there's
everybody. Shameless plug alert.
shameless plug. First of all, we're not getting paid to do this. We just really like these people. But there's a channel on YouTube for anybody that is really into short horror films, but it's called Crypt TV, and it's, first of all, it's an I think it's an independent kind of film company, but I may be wrong on this, but they do such great work. They have, um, very uh, astounding, production value. They have a cool way to add in special effects, and it just doesn't look like some cheap college project, which is just super amazing. But the cool thing about it is that it, much like in Creepypasta, it starts off with a short regarding some mysterious figure or some creature that they created, and depending on how much attention it garners, they expand on that universe, and most of the Crypt TV videos or universe are sharing the same world, and it's just amazing to me how it kind of becomes its own how do you want to say this, like its own production company, much like how Warner Brothers has their own properties, or Universal has their own property. Crypt TV has their own properties with all these different universes, sometimes even coexisting.
Everything.
Personally, what drew me in was the Crypt Fables, which is some modernized versions of common fairy tales or fables, if you will, and they find a way to make it to twist it and contort it into a horror film, and I just I
love it.
Chef's kiss. It's so good.
Chef's
so if you guys are
kiss.
ever into that, check Crypt TV out. Let them know we've sent you here. I mean, it's all, we don't have too many people following us, but let them know we sent you, because let's face it, it'd be pretty sick if if there'd be some contact there. We could all collab
Right.
on something.
Yeah, let them know that we said hi, and we said they're doing an absolutely amazing job
Tell
with
'em
what they
that
do.
20-something show watches them and they love them,
For sure.
and they sent you.
I did link that in chat just so you guys know. That is the Crypt TV channel on YouTube.
Thank you,
so
Sundance.
you can absolutely check that out. And like Adrian was saying, there are so many different stories and sagas and just different things going on.
There's one following a cult. if that's something you guys are into. If you're more into the paranormal, there's this
There's-
unexplained being
I
that
just
tracks people
looked at this.
down.
There's actually a series, a full series that's
Yeah,
going
they have
on right
series
now.
on different creatures that became popular. They even have kind of like narrated comic book or comic strips videos that they have.
There is a show on Facebook Watch
Yeah,
called The Birch.
yeah,
So
dude,
that's
Crypt TV is
kind of interesting.
rapidly growing. So if it's definitely a worthwhile type of channel.
Heck yeah. It's awesome, and like we were saying, they have a ton of content out right now, so definitely check it out. And let them know we said hi. But anyway, I think without any further ado, it's time to get deep into this Slender Man-ness, because
Take it away, sir.
I'm
Take it
into
away.
So as we were talking about, Slender Man started out in 2009 with this picture that had the caption that was something to the extent of, "We didn't want to do it. He made us go with him," or something like that. There was this vague allusion to the fact that these children were being controlled by none other than Slender Man. And it was accompanied with a picture of a figure that was wearing pretty clearly wearing, it was a blurry-ish picture, but he was pretty clearly wearing a black suit. So there's that. And then he was very clearly faceless. And that's the key. I think one of the creepiest parts of Slender Man. Yes.
Real quick, I found the caption. Do you want me to read it?
Yes, please do. I appreciate it.
All right. So the photograph had the caption that read, "We didn't want to go. We didn't want to kill them, but its persistent silence and outstretched arms horrified and comforted us at the same time.
At the same time.
1983 photographer unknown, presumed dead." And yeah, like you said, the writer was actually very, very inspired by H.P. Lovecraft.
Yeah, exactly. So, a lot of what we get from Slender Man is this Lovecraftian sort of horror, which is the followers of Slender Man and those who have seen him or dealt with him in any sort of way have either died or gone tragically insane.
Or disappeared.
Just
flat out.
Yeah. And those who have gone insane were called, I forget now. I lost it. It's gone. But there's, in the video game they were called chasers, but that's not what they're called in the actual lore. And I forget now. But basically,
go ahead, I'll look it up.
Yeah, basically they've been affected by Slender Man to a certain extent, to where they're pretty much insane. And so that's an aspect of Slender Man. Other depictions of Slender Man, other than the one you see back behind you, Adrian.
Wait, what? Where?
Don't look. Don't do it. But we see Slender Man as just a very, very tall figure. He has ranged in video games and different series and stuff like that. He has ranged from about the size of an NBA basketball player, anywhere from 6 to 7 foot, all the way to 15 feet in height.
By the way, proxy is the term.
Thank you. That's what I was talking about. A proxy. Yeah. So if they were affected by Slender Man, they became a proxy. But he has ranged from anywhere from 6 foot to 15 feet in height. And common traits are, I just got a really cold chill. And that's terrifying for me right now.
You got a cold chill?
Yeah.
This is a projection, and
no,
he's not really here, but I see you.
I know, but it was just very creepy. But anyway, commonly He is known to have exceptionally long arms and legs, with a fairly normal-sized torso and a faceless head. Some depictions of it are more skin tone. Some depictions of it are stark white.
Yeah.
And so it's very eerie. But then other depictions of him have more Cthulhu like tentacles that come
Yeah.
out from behind him as well, to snatch all the children. Um, and so there are varying depictions of Slender Man.
Didn't you go as Slender Man for one Halloween?
I did. I did go as Slender Man.
Either that or I was going crazy. One of the two.
No, I did go as Slender Man for one Halloween. It was a blast. It was actually my freshman year at Millikan. I went as Slender Man for Halloween. It was a blast. It was super fun. I had a morph suit at the time.
Yeah.
And I also had like really nice dress clothes. So I of course wore my
So it
really
made
nice dress
sense.
clothes. And I'm already Slender Man because I've got really long arms. My arms go down to my knees. And
Just got that checked.
yeah, I probably should. No, but I've already got really long limbs, so I went as Slender Man, and it was super fun, and people enjoyed it. But commonly, the side effects of Slender Man are, like from the video games, also distortion of video and sound and stuff like that, so it's hard to catch Slender Man on camera or on film. So those are kind of the key facts of his lore, which is awesome. And as I said, after he started in 2009, Slender Man began to pick up a lot of, gain a lot of following and stuff like that. And a lot of people jumped in on the trend until eventually there was a video game made out of him. Which I talked about and I played. And there was a second video game made out of him and like a couple other variations that aimed and just kind of missed a little bit.
YouTube channels.
Yeah, YouTube channels based on Slender Man, a ton of stuff until it gained the following of a documentarian, an independent documentarian, who did...
That's the HBO one, right?
No, I'm talking about a different one. I'm talking about I don't think it's the HBO one. But anyway, it was an independent documentarian who did kind of a found footage documentary series on YouTube.
Was it the Marble Hornets one?
Yep, that's the one I'm talking about. Yep, it's the Marble Hornets one.
Gotcha.
And then that eventually got turned into a feature-length film as well, which is pretty awesome. And then, of course, as Adrian was saying, there is an HBO documentary about the culture of Slender Man. And then, finally, years later, after it had hit its peak and then dropped drastically because of literal crimes that took place... Slender Man was definitely going down the drain, and I think it was Sony. Wasn't it Sony?
That feels like Sony.
I believe Sony picked it up for a movie, and it was a box office nightmare. It did not do well. It tanked.
But that's the cool thing. I mean, yeah, it tanked. But the cool thing is that they're not giving up on creepypastas because I honestly forgot which director it was because I can't remember the article. I couldn't pull it up again, but I remember hearing that a good horror director wants to do a show, like a TV series, kind of anthology inspired by creepypastas, which I think would just be amazing to do.
So
there's one actually. I think I haven't seen it myself, but it's called Candle Cove, which I don't know if you've ever actually read it, but it basically boils down to like the creepypasta is about this guy trying to remember this kids show called Candle Cove, in which it had like I think what was it like puppets I think, but there was this guy called the skin taker that would take like like kids skins or whatever, and he's trying to figure out what the show is. He's been trying to look for it. He doesn't find it. He searches for it, nothing. But other people have heard about it, like in forums. And then of course, like it ends with like parents always saying they always remember their kids for some reason watching TV, but it's like it's just static. Like they just watch static, which which is kind of cool. I'm not sure because I haven't seen the actual TV show that they put out. But I don't know if it's gonna follow that kind of story or if they're doing something else with it. But I think they're going with the whole full story, making it an entire run through. But like I said, I haven't seen it, but I would love to now that I've heard of it.
Yeah. So, distortion of reality again. A perfect
Yeah, how can you
creepypasta
not play
trope.
with that?
And like as you were describing it, it gave me chills. I was like, "Ooh, that one's good." Like I like that a lot. But yeah, so I haven't heard of Candle Cove, but that's super interesting. I'll have to
Yeah.
check that one out.
See, that's the thing I miss, like being able to like you said, the hair raising. Like it's been a while for me to get some the art my arm hairs raising
Yeah.
from somebody just telling me a story. Because like I said, I think the last time I've done that was basically pretty much at a campfire. So I think at some point in the future, not the near future, but we should have a stream that's kind of uh you know and like actually just at a campfire, just
Yeah.
have a camera set up or something, with people.
Oh no! Adrian froze. Oh no. Okay. He'll be back soon.
I'm back.
Excellent.
I
I knew he would be back soon. Excellent. So
the second I stopped hearing anything, I was like, all right, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, you cut off when you said camera around a campfire with
Yeah,
people.
that's essentially all it was. Like, that'd be
Cool.
pretty cool to do.
I mean, yeah, absolutely, it would. It would be super awesome. I would love to do that, especially now that things are getting somewhat back to normal with a lot of people getting vaccinated. Speaking of which, I have big news. I, for the longest time, have not been able to get vaccinated because of just the hours in my day and my craziness and my schedule. I have not been able to make an appointment anywhere because everybody was either booked up or closed for the times that I was free. And so I just haven't been able to. But finally, what is today? Today is Friday. Yesterday, finally, literally yesterday, I got shot in the arm, and I have my first dose of the COVID vaccine. So I'm Team Pfizer, hashtag Team Pfizer, and and so
I'll let you know when I get mine.
Yeah,
we'll see
yeah.
if we're
Yeah, for sure. So I'm hashtag Team Pfizer. I am half vaxxed. If that's another hashtag, but yeah.
Everything's a hashtag now. Don't worry about it.
So yeah, I am super looking forward to being fully vaccinated and getting out in the world and being able to just enjoy some semblance of regular life again. So I'm super looking forward to that, and us here at that 20-something show cannot encourage you enough to go get the vaccine. I know it is completely your choice, and I'm not going to absolutely force anybody. I don't think anybody should be forced to do anything, but I am here to recommend it to you, and I am here to say that the first vaccine for me anyway has gone super well. I felt soreness in my arm, like a vaccine does.
Yeah.
And other than that, I am fully 100% today. Yesterday, I felt soreness in my arm, but then I had rehearsal for Matilda, and I was doing gymnastics. So if I can do it, you can do it, and I highly recommend it. That is the message of that 20-somethings show. Go get vaxxed. Be safe, people.
Next week, the role of Sundance will be played by Matt.
Right? Yikes.
Let's all pretend like it's normal.
Yeah, just saying. No, but but yeah, I will constantly keep you guys updated. However, I do have to let you know, since we are just about to wind this stream down, I do have to let you know, not next week. Next week we should have a stream up and running. I think we're going to pick one of the topics that got the second most votes from last week.
I had $1 million. Let's do this.
So I think If I Had $1 Million is going to be our next topic. So that will be next week, but then the following 2 weeks, I will be in production mode. I will actually be in shows during the time that we are streaming. So we will not be able to stream not next week, but the following 2 weeks at all. I will be...
But we'll try to put out other forms of content for you.
Yes, we will definitely be posting stuff on our Facebook. So if you haven't already, definitely follow us over on Facebook at That 20-Somethings Show.
Or check out and share our reruns.
Yeah, for sure. Our reruns will all be up on YouTube. Maybe I have a command for that as well. I very well can. Yes, there it is. So yeah, be sure to check out those things and keep up to date on us while we are taking a brief hiatus while I am performing my butt off. Because I'll tell you what, folks, it's a tough show. It's hard. It's super fun, but it's hard.
Working with kids.
Yeah, it's working with kids, and I want to show the people back home. So first of all, these are my line notes from yesterday. There are more line notes than there are pages in the script, which is sad, but I gotta get memorized.
We gotta redo this whole thing.
Oh my god. So I want to tell you all that I am in production of Matilda, Roald Dolls, that's hard to say, Matilda, the musical, and I will be playing, if any of you are familiar with it, the Trunchbull, who is the evil headmistress who tortures Matilda and all of her friends. And the biggest part in the show ever is this monologue that I have to memorize, which is a full page long. So, yes, it's a full page.
I thought you were going to say, I play the Trunchbull who tortures Matilda and kills her at the end. I just spoiled the show.
Oh, no. How could I? Oh, I'm so sorry. But, yes, if you are interested at all in that, I will be posting in the Discord. I will be posting pictures of the Tech Week process and updating you guys about what's going on. As well as our updates on Facebook and stuff, just to keep you guys in the loop as to what I am doing during this very busy time for me. But with that, Adrian, do you have anything else that you wanted to talk about creepypastas before we wind this stream down? Because I know we discussed a lot. There is 1,000 things to discuss. And I know we can't get to them all, but is there anything pertinent that
I think we're good for today.
I think we covered a lot.
I'm sure
today.
we'll touch this somewhere in the future.
I know this is definitely an episode that we will end up
in a future creepypasta episode. We should definitely at some point each read a creepypasta.
Oh heck yeah, I would love to do that.
Set the mood, the lighting. Let's do this. Let's
fact,
plan that for the next time we do it.
For those of you who are in chat, drop a creepypasta that you'd like us to read, or if you'd
yes.
If you'd like to, go to that Facebook page and mention it there. Also, if you haven't followed us over at Discord, we do have a Discord where we take topic ideas and everything like that.
Same thing with Facebook. Don't be afraid to post stuff in there, guys. We will love it.
Yeah, for sure. We look at all that stuff and we love all the content. Even if we can't respond right away, I know sometimes I'll read something and then I'll be like, I have to get something done. But we really enjoy the content. So keep it up, guys. We appreciate it. Thank you so much for
give us topics you'd like to hear about. In fact, at the end of every sign off, I'm sure you guys notice I always say something random. If there's anything you'd like me to say at the end of each show, suggest that, please, for the love of God. I'm tired of pulling out things out of a hat.
And we'll shout you out too if you want it. We would absolutely love to.
We would love that.
So
give us something to say. Let's make this fun.
Yeah, exactly, for sure. We'd love to get you guys involved in whatever way we can. So thank you so much for all of the support and everything. We appreciate you. Thank you. Speaking of appreciation, thank you so much, Liz. Liz B. Official. Oh no, it's Liz Bot Official now. She changed her name. I remember. Thank you very much, Liz Bot Official, for the follow. Thank you, Linz and Mariah, for hanging out with us in stream, and Oceana, thanks so much for chatting as always. We really appreciate you guys being here. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you can catch all of our future reruns, which is kind of an oxymoron, but I love it. Catch all of our future reruns.
We're oxymorons.
We are That's so funny that I just posted the Discord and then the Discord message pops up in chat.
I like how one of them says, if you like this show, and one of them's italicized and the other one is
Yep, of
like
course.
more sarcastic that way.
If you like this show, I guess. But thank you guys so much for all of your support. You guys have been absolutely amazing. With that, Adrian, would you like to take us out?
Absolutely.
All righty.
So thank you guys for joining us tonight. Again, we love hanging out with all of you. And as always, take care, be safe, and we'll see you next time. And remember, most land animals have no idea whales exist.
I've known some. Until I first met you, I was lonesome. And when you came inside, dear, my heart grew light and this whole world seemed new to me. You're really swell, I have to admit you deserve expressions that really fit you. And so I've racked my brain